The broker just called and requested a quote on an import from Garden City Terminal in Savannah, Georgia to Charlotte, North Carolina, and she needs it delivered tomorrow before the warehouse closes. What's your response? Hey fam, welcome back. Yes, this is an AI version of myself. I'm sure you've seen AI clones like this on YouTube before. I'm just taking advantage of the new technology. But actually, it helps me bring more training to new carriers on a consistent basis. But don't get it twisted. The training, the experience, and even the voice is 100% me. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Keisha, and I'm the founder of the Drayage Academy. I owned and operated a drayage trucking company along with a freight brokerage for over 7 years. And now I help owner-operators in mid-sized fleets understand how to add drayage to their service lineup without making the costly beginner mistakes. Let's get into it. In the last video, we talked about why having an active authority is not enough to start hauling containers. We reviewed the requirements necessary to be compliant, and we also determined your drayage readiness by taking a drayage readiness assessment. If you missed it, don't worry, I'll link it in the description below. But today, we're talking about something different. Let's talk about that very first container opportunity. Before you quote on a drayage shipment, make sure you have all of the details. It's the details that tell you if you need to add accessories, and it also helps you with scheduling the pickup and the return. To get the details, you just need to ask the right questions. And this is where a lot of the new carriers get into trouble. They get excited because a broker or a shipper called with a load and requests a quote. Maybe they're feeling like this is the first real opportunity, so they accept a load or give a quote too quick. In drayage, giving a quote before asking the right questions can cost you time, fuel, unpaid accessories, and sometimes the whole load. A container load is different than, say, a dry van load. It's more than just pick up and deliver. It's a process. It has dates, it has documents, it has equipment rules, it has gate requirements. And if you don't understand the process before you accept the load, you can end up with a container you can't pick up, a chassis you don't have access to, deadlines you didn't know about, or even fees that nobody told you about. So in this video, I want to walk you through the basic flow of a drayage shipment and where your compliance credentials and registrations come into play. The basic drayage shipment, after your quote is accepted, usually looks something like this. Step 1 is actually booking the load with the broker, the forwarder, or even the shipper, and then getting the documentation that you need based on the shipment, whether it's an import or an export. Step 2 is securing the equipment, whether you're reserving your chassis or checking with the terminal to confirm the container is ready for pickup. Step 3 is scheduling and delivery. This is where you schedule delivery with the receiver for imports, or you're setting the appointment to be loaded at the shipper if it's an export. But once your appointment is set, then you pick up and deliver the container. In step 4, it's time to return the equipment. It may go back to a terminal, it may go back to the same port, or even to the rail. The final step, of course, is the best step, which is step 5, and this is where you're submitting your paperwork so you can get paid. I know, it sounds simple when you say it, but every step has questions attached to it, and those questions are what protect your time, your truck, and your money. Obviously, the very first thing you want to know is this an import or an export? The difference affects the paperwork, the timing, the equipment, and the risk. Let's talk imports. This is a loaded container going to a receiver to be unloaded. For imports, you should receive a delivery order. It has things like the container number, the weight of the container, and the pickup number. But there are 2 questions you should always ask for imports. The first one is, what's the last free date? The last free date is the last day the container can sit at the port before the port starts charging your customer storage fees, which are called demurrage fees. Another question to ask is about the empty container. So you've got a loaded container, you've got it unloaded at the receiver, and now you have an empty container that has to go back. But it doesn't always go back to the same port that you picked it up at. So one of the questions you always want to ask is, where is the empty container being returned? Sometimes the broker doesn't know where the empty container is being returned, so you may end up calling the ship line to confirm where the empty container should go back to. Now let's move to exports. For exports, you will receive a booking confirmation. It will have the empty container location and booking number. Because exports require an extra step. You must first grab an empty container, then get it loaded at the shipper, and then return it. So exports have a cut date, which is the last day the port will accept containers for a specific vessel or ship. So you know that's the first question you need to ask. What is the cut date? Do you have enough time to get the empty, get it loaded, and get the container back to the port before that cut date? Another point to confirm is if this is a live load, because if it's a drop and hook, can you still make the cut date? And of course, you want to ask if you need to schedule an appointment at the shipper or the receiver. So don't book the load because it's an opportunity. Book it only after you understand what you're agreeing to. Now let's back up and connect the shipment to your credentials and registration requirements to haul that first container. Number one is your TWIC card. In order to register as a motor carrier at the Port Authority, you will need a TWIC card. No port registration, no container pickup. Number two is a SCAC code. Port authorities use a SCAC code to identify the motor carrier that has equipment out, whether it's a container or a chassis. They use the SCAC code. No SCAC code, no port registration, no container pickup. Number three is your UIIA participation. The UIIA governs which ship lines you are approved to work with, like MSC or CMA. If you're not participating with the UIIA, you may not be able to be approved to work with that container's ship line. No UIIA approval means no container pickup. Number four is port registration. This is your direct access to the port. No port registration, no access, no container pickup. And this also includes the rail, which also sits under the Port Authority access. And finally, number five is chassis access. So of course, if you don't have a chassis, you'll need to rent one from the chassis pool, which requires its own registration. So no chassis registration, no chassis, no container pickup. So let me be clear, having a truck does not automatically mean you can move containers. You still need to go through your compliance requirements, and you still need to build that solid foundation. I remember early on, we were presented with a great load at a great rate, and it was from a broker that we had done loads for before, so we figured it would be an easy $1,200. I dispatched my truck to the port the very next morning, only to get a call from the driver saying the container is not available for pickup. Of course, I jump on the phone with the broker, trying to confirm that I had the right container number, I had the right date for pickup, and then I let him know that my driver was already there, but the container just wasn't available for pickup. He says that the container has 4 days of demurrage on it, and it has to get cleared by his customer in California. 3 hours later, my driver is still waiting for the container to be cleared. I had to bring the driver back with no container. Now, I still have to pay that driver, and I still have to pay for the fuel that he burned getting to the port. So, of course, I requested a TANU, or dry run pay, from the broker, but he didn't want to pay it, and he didn't pay it. He said you should have checked availability before dispatching the truck to the port. And you know what? He was right. That was an expensive lesson, but I never dispatched a truck in the blind ever again. I don't want carriers to make costly mistakes like I did. This is why I tell new carriers not to treat drayage like a quick pick up and deliver. Drayage is details, it's dates, it's documents, it's equipment, it's gates. It's all in the details. So here's the takeaway. Before you accept the first container load, slow down and ask the questions. Is it an import or export? What documents do I need? Am I approved to work with this ship line? Is the container available? What's the cut date or the last free date? Where does the empty container go back to? What paperwork do I need to get paid? Because a great container load that you do not have the details for can become a money pit even before your truck moves. Making sure you are drayage ready by having your credentials and registrations in place, that's first. But even after you're compliant to haul, you still need to understand how drayage moves. From quoting to applying accessories to port pickups. If you're not sure whether you're drayage ready, then you can take the free Drayage Readiness assessment. It'll take you less than 5 minutes. You'll actually get a readiness score and an action plan. The link to the Drayage Readiness assessment is in the description below, or you can go to the Drayage Academy website and it's on the homepage. I do have a live training coming up where I go deeper into building a solid foundation way before you start quoting on containers. The training covers phase 1 of the Port to Profit framework. It's called the Structural Foundation. And we all know that a solid foundation is required to build a successful operation. You can find a date and time for the upcoming training on my website, drayageacademy.com, and hopefully I'll see you in the next training session. In the next video, we'll cover one of the most confusing parts to drayage for new carriers, and that's how do chassis pools work. Remember, no chassis access, no container pickup. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.